So what I'm going to do here is I've done a little bit of sanding on the seam, and I could make it a whole lot better. But that means I'd have to buy another tub of the compound to throw up on here and shape it the way I wanted it and blah blah blah. I just don't think I'm going to do that, because you know what, I'm well behind schedule and I am the master of polishing turds. So what I think I'm going to do is clean up my dust here and just go ahead and paint. It'd probably hopefully be behind something and you won't see it, but maybe I can do a few little things and throw the eyeballs off and it won't stick out so bad, because I just got to get going again. So here's my paint. There's all the paint codes if you guys or girls are interested in that same color. It's just Battleship Gray. Who doesn't want to paint things Battleship Gray? Jamie, are you wanting to get painted? Because you're getting really close to being painted. Because you almost knocked that paint tray over. You big clown. Let me find my crappy rollers. Okay, this wall's painted. It's not beautiful at all, but it's done. And you can see my hot mess going up and down here. Just not very good. But it is what it is. Always got to improve your position. That's what Pastor Joe Fox says. So I think I'm improving my position a little. What are you doing there, puppy? Huh? What you doing, pup? What are you doing there, pupperoni? Huh? So, I had to stop working on the kitchen and tend to Kitty Cat, because she's in poor health, hopefully getting better. Also, come to find out, we got an ice storm coming, and I didn't find out until yesterday, and they've been reporting on it for the last 7 days, and I totally had no clue. And it's supposed to get cold, like it don't get this cold in Kentucky cold. So what I'm doing today is I'm trying to improvise a underpinning, because I don't have underpinning. I just haven't wanted to spend the money on underpinning until I get things fixed the way I want to get them fixed. I just don't want to have to deal with taking it down, putting it up, taking it down, putting it up. So normally inside the mobile home, keeping the temperature up in 1 or 2 or 3 rooms is not an issue at all. Now if it gets in the 20s, that's when I start to experience my water lines freezing, which is no big deal. I've got PEX, and it's knock on wood, it does freeze, but it doesn't bust. And you know, when the temperature gets back in the 30s, low 30s, 31, yeah, even in the 30s, like the water comes back on. So here's this roll I have of a 3mm black plastic. It should do the trick. The key here is to keep the draft from blowing across and cooling the floor down. There's a lot of insulation underneath this trailer, but there's also a couple places where there is none. Just for where the rats, and not rats, but the raccoons and stuff have pulled it all down, and it's all shredded. You can see some of it, hanging down. So I'm gonna start trying to attach this stuff. Okay, I've got all that plastic dragged the full length of the mobile home. And some of these 1-bys that I've been using as trim pieces in the kitchen for this part where the old deck used to be a long time ago, I'm going to sandwich this plastic in between this and use these old mobile home screws, I can't remember what they call them, that I saved, to anchor it down. And hopefully the tomato baskets will serve as some type of skeleton to keep it from pushing in too far. And then I can work on the backside. The backside will be easy because it's not this high. So let me get to this. So there we go. There's some redneck ingenuity, which I'm not finished with it, but At least I got it attached. What I pulled enough plastic out here that I got it folded over top of those little 1-bys that are untreated. And I just run some old poverty chrome down it to kind of seal it. That way hopefully it don't get too wet and I can reuse it later. So now I got to keep on going down this way and try to get this done. Well, it is Wednesday morning, about 7 o'clock I think. And yeah, we got a little bit of ice. It's not going to get real crazy until this afternoon. Yeah, it's definitely slick enough to break your neck. Anyways, I just wanted to show you guys my work of art on my underpinning. I need to check on it too, make sure it didn't, you know, come down. I'm taking my time going down these steps because they're slicker than crap. This looks kind of messy because I didn't trim this end, but it got really cold really quick yesterday afternoon. So here's the front. You know, it's not beautiful, but I tell you what, once we get that freezing rain and stuff and it lays on the bottom of this plastic, that's going to bring a lot of weight to kind of keep it held down a lot better. But man, it's been nothing but a muddy, soppy mess for the last 2 weeks. I'm kind of over it. Got the back side. I didn't trim this back side just in case, you know, if the wind started coming real hard this way, it'd have plenty of plastic to kind of, you know, scoot underneath the trailer a little bit. And then here's the back side. You know, it's even uglier. And I used some dirt or some mud and threw on the bottom of the plastic, held it down, then I raked all my leaves up against it to kind of, you know, insulate it a little bit more and hold it down. And I used these T-posts to kind of give some structure to the corners, and it seems like it's doing pretty good. You know, there's ice on here, but like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect, it doesn't have to look beautiful, it just has to do the job. I think before the ice gets really bad this afternoon, I'm kind of worried about my birds. I'll make a little birdhouse and give them a place where they can get some seeds and everything when it gets really cold. It won't be under ice and stuff. So these old things that I built here to sit tomato plants, I think I'm going to box them in on each side. So what I've done is I've got some scrap pieces of this paneling, and I took and cut one in half. I'm going to use this as its sides, and I may use part of this as the floor as well, or I might just cut a piece of this 1x5, use it as the bottom. So let's get out here and screw this to the sides. I kind of forgot to show you all the rest of my steps. So here's what I got. You know, I built the sides, and then the last video I showed you guys I made the bottom, and I'm like, well, that kind of sucks, man. They need to have like a little roof, that way the water stuff can kind of drip out of the way. So I just cut another piece and I shot it up here at an angle, and I pre-drilled the holes and put a trim screw on each side. Then I was like, well, shoot, how am I gonna hold the seeds in? So I cut another little piece, and I left it open down here a little bit to where some can trickle out, and they got a little ledge. And I left this part up because a lot of the little titmice birds, the titmouses, or however you call them, they like to sit and crack their little seeds right here on the edge of something. So I figured it would, maybe they'll like that. I don't know what birds like. So let's fill this up with some seeds and see if we get some visitors. And when it gets warmer, I might go ahead and just stain this a little bit to kind of protect it a little bit. So hopefully all the seed don't pour out the bottom or out the back sides. Yeah, some does. Yeah, they can get them off the ground, I guess. Well, they're seeing seeds down here, but they're not paying much attention to what's going on up here. Maybe if I kind of put some bigger seeds. Oh, that little dude just landed right next to me. Let's see. Maybe if we do this, they'll see. So what I'm doing is I figured today to be the best day to build my fireplace around. So I'm trying to find some rocks to use as a floor. Again, it's really hard to complain about the Volkswagen Jetta. I've got two 3x5 sheets, HardieBacker 4 2x4s, two pieces of paneling, 4 concrete 16x16 blocks, and a thing of burning wood. That's pretty good. So I've got my little concrete pad down, and what I used are 16x16 inch pavers. I guess I could have got 6 instead of just 4, but for all intents and purposes, this will work for what I'm looking to do. So first thing I need to do is I need to bring some rigidity back to this wall from where there was so much water damage in this corner. I cut it when I was taking the old floor out and putting this new in. This corner over here is not attached to the bottom plate. None of these, that one, or that one's not attached. And I knew this, but I kind of forgot about it. So I'm not going to go ahead and repair this wall now. What I want to do is just add 2x4 to it to give it some rigidity, because that HardieBacker, that cement board's pretty heavy. As you can see, this right here is not attached. So I'm just going to cut a piece to butt up against this one to go all the way down here, and then I'm going to attach it to this and the floor. This right here, if there's enough material that will actually screw, I'll screw one into it. I just want to, like I said, make this strong, and that way I can hang that HardieBacker. And then later in the spring, when I figure out what I want to do with this wall, I'll come back and just take it all down, and it ain't gonna be no big deal. That's why I always like using screws, because I can always take apart what I did. Fella's getting a little ingenious here. I had this gap, so I just used that 1 2x4 to push in between it. It don't necessarily fit right widthwise, but it fit. So now I can screw this into that, and this one into this one, and that into the bottom. And so that does 2 little sections. Pretty happy with that. And here we go. This HardieBacker is up, and luckily I had just enough screws to attach it to the wall securely. I had 6, I had 8, and that was just enough. So I'll have to get more before I can, add a little bit over here. But yeah, that stuff is heavy. So if you've never messed with 3x5 sheets of HardieBacker, get ready to get a friend if you don't have a lot of upper body strength, because that's kind of awkward to hold. Okay, it's 6 o'clock. You see it's almost completely dark. I got the window out so you can see the water damage. Isn't too horrible back here. It's mainly in this one corner where it's been leaking, and right here. The rest of the window frame seems pretty decent. Here's my final decision. This is how I'm going to do it. Just like this. I brought my pad out a little bit further from the wall. I'm just about 20 inches away from the HardieBacker. From my understanding, 18 inches is a good safe distance from any kind of wood burning stove from a wall. Got that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my square here. Yeah, hold on. And I'm going to use this to give me an idea on my HardieBacker where I need to start my circle. As you can see, I'm making a mess. I've got the stove going through the HardieBacker. I've got it all screwed together to make sure it's nice and sturdy. I'm suspecting I'm going to have a little bit of smoke leak coming out of here and out of some of these joints, because these will rotate. You can change the direction if you want it to go straight or only at a 45, or if you want it at a 90. You can adjust it to kind of do with whatever flavor you want. So yeah, this is it. I've got my chimney up. It's not perfect, but I think it'll hold. I put this T-post underneath the end of it if it started sagging too much, maybe give a little bit extra support. And I had to make a little wire cable to wrap around it and screw into the side of the mobile home to keep it from leaning backwards. So I'm hoping that'll hold until tomorrow, or whenever I can get to the store and get some actual metal bands and get that up a little bit better. Well, I know I've had some people say that you got to have your chimney pipe high enough to create a good enough draft or something. I don't quite understand what they're talking about, but Here's my little test. I can feel something going on. So let's see. Is it sucking it? Yeah, it looks like it's sucking it up the chimney. You see it kind of pulling? Looks like it's pulling out the chimney to me. So I guess it's okay. I can't put my window on because my pipe, I didn't measure it right, or I didn't have enough pipe, or pipe wasn't long enough. Whatever happened is my chimney pipe going out here, excuse me, I got hiccups, ends up running into this. So there goes that idea. So I'm going to go take my old screws that came out and screw the metal siding back to the window frame, the wood. It's not going to be watertight, and so if we get a lot of ice or melt or rain, it's liable to go in between the trailer and come down and maybe leak on the floor a little bit. But in 8 days, we're supposed to have mid-50s. So if that happens, I'll redo this and or at least make it to where we won't have that water leakage. But for right now, in case power goes out, I got a wood-burning stove. So, win. So I got a couple things here that's going to happen. One, it's going to draft right, and the smoke's going to go out the chimney, and it'll be awesome. Or two, it won't draft right. The smoke will rush inside my longhouse, and my chimney will fall off. So, we'll just have to wait and see what goes on. Nervous. So what I got here is I've got a bundle of this white birch. It's kiln dried, no bugs. I got it at Home Depot. It's from this company here, Great Northern Firewood Company. I'm not sponsored or nothing by this company. I just seen it and I grabbed it. Anytime I find bundled wood in the store or something, I always grab a bundle. Kind of like I do toilet paper. A piece of birch in here. Oh, wow. Let's turn off this studio light. There we go. It's got a nice little crackle to it. You know what I'm thinking about doing is making a screen to go right here. That way I can leave this open and kind of look at it sometimes. I just like watching fire. I guess I'm just a firebug. I tell you what, for a small stove, this sucker's putting out some heat. I had my little flue thing down here cranked open about 80% of the way, and the next thing I know, it was getting hot in the kitchen. So I put my little thermostat on my little digital reader. It's 405. Let's see. I had this thing almost 600 degrees, which is hot. So I cranked that in a little bit and cut down the oxygen. And it seems like it's starting to settle down just a little bit. I'm getting, still getting in 500. So it's 540. 542 is my high, so you can definitely tell she be hot.